So welcome to my third team update for the year. It is February 9, so we're about 5 or 6 weeks out from the season opener, and it'll probably change a bit more up until then, but it is fun to mess around with the team. I've changed a few things. I'm excited for you guys to see the forward line because you're going to hate it, but I like it for the time being, and I'll explain why I've picked or not picked certain players. But for my own team, for my defense and my midfield, nothing's really changed. In the defense, I'm picking from the same 5 players: Williams, Sicily, Houston, Laird, and Doherty. It will be 4 of those guys, I'm pretty sure. Unless we get some really good rookies, so I might go 3 of them. And then in the midfield, McRae, Kelly, Cripps, and Dunkley haven't changed. And if I end up going a 5th midfielder, I'm thinking Clayton Oliver, even though he'll get debored in round 2. So yeah, this defense, I quite like the defense. I'm not really interested in Duday and Robertson because I'd rather pay an extra 200, 250 for a player who I think will be a premium. And these guys like Sicily and Houston and Laird and Doherty, they are all reasonable prices, I think. So I don't really feel like I'm paying overs for any of them. And Williams, am I paying overs? Maybe, but this year he's going to have a better preseason than last year, so I'm hoping that he will improve this year. But yeah, I really want to pick Williams. I just like him a lot as a player. And yeah, I expect him to be All-Australian this year, along with Sicily, and improve. And then the rookies. It doesn't seem like we're getting many base rookies at this stage. I'm sure some will pop up in the Marsh Community Series, but Starkovic and Gould look like they're having really good impressing at their clubs, and Gould I think will play round 1 from what we're hearing. Starkovic is still battling for a spot sort of thing, but a lot of good signs. I've heard a bit about Cottrell from Carlton. Don't know if he actually plays, but heard he's improved a lot. And hearing some good things about Rivers from Melbourne. So you probably don't need to go over rookies too much now, but I'm not running Hayden Young either. I don't really want to run him because I don't think he's a must-have by any stretch at 180k, being a first-year player. So, and yeah, this draft isn't as talented as last year's draft. So, you know, Bailey Smith-Walsh and Rosie last year were unbelievable rookies. Not really sure outside of Rao we'll get that from guys around the 200k mark. So that's the defense. I quite like it. I'm not sure if I want Sicily, Houston, and Laird. I'm not sure which of the 2 of those 3 that I want. And just quickly on Doherty, I'm a little bit concerned about this pick. I think we're all going to pick him anyway, so it'll cancel out. But coming back from 2 ACLs, off the top of my head, I can think of Tom Liberatore and Nick Natanui of 2 ACLs. And those guys have not returned to any sort of durability or consistent scoring. Nick Nat's been a good scorer, but he's been so heavily managed. But those are kind of individual cases. I'm not sure it's a good basis to compare them to, because Libba had the off-field issues, and I think Nick Nat, he's also carrying a bit of weight as well. I feel like should trim down a little bit. But that's just me personally. So, and he's vegan, I think, which is not good. Don't do that. But yeah. So now the midfield. Oops, I showed my forward line. Well, that can wait. Jack McRae, Josh Kelly, Cripps, and Dunkley. I think these guys have probably the best ceilings in the game, along with maybe Fife in terms of the midfield. So I'm really happy with these 4. They haven't changed since Supercoach opened or my Notepad team in November. So very happy with these guys. Clayton Oliver is another one. It's pretty simple. Last year he didn't have a full preseason and Melbourne were dreadful. This year we're hearing a lot of good things about Melbourne's preseason. I suppose we're hearing better than last year, and seems to be less injuries, because last year it felt like half of Melbourne's team was injured in the early parts of the year. So I like Oliver as a pick. He's gone 114 before. I think he's gone over 110 3 times, or 109. But yeah, apparently he's having a really good preseason, and no reason why he shouldn't push 112, 115 around that area. So I like Oliver, and the fact that he's 590k, that's really good. It just saves a little bit of money, so I don't have to go for like a Dangerfield or anything. But yeah, that's the midfield. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, the defense and the midfields, I'm picking from the same 10 players. The only ones I don't have right now are... No, the only one I don't have is Laird. If I don't go Oliver, I will go an extra primo elsewhere. So yeah, nothing's changed there really. Rookies, Rao, I think we should pick by the looks of it. Collar Dawkins, hearing good things about him. Dimmer seems to like him. Pickett should play, we assume. McHenry will play. Don't know why he's not a forward. He played very well in the final series in the SNFL as a forward. I don't know if he played midfield before that, but I thought he was just a pure small forward at this stage. Might move in the midfield later in his career. But yeah, I don't know why he's not a forward. I think Bytel seems like I think he was a captain at his draft level or something like that. And Jackson Mead, oh for God's sake. And Jackson Mead, I think he has a minor hamstring issue, but I think he'll be fine. So just getting a rough idea of the rookies. It's good to know who's going okay and who's not. I say it every time. It's all going to change anyway, but right now this is what we're working with, and it's just fun to play around with the team as is. So next we'll speak about the ruck department. Oops, there's my forward line. I'll speak about that in a minute. So Grundy, there's not much reason not to pick Grundy. And I have O'Brien over Gawn. Since Gawn went down with his knee injury, I have a little bit of doubt over him as a pick, but he's still Max Gawn. He's a superstar. You fully expect him to do the right thing and be really well prepared for round one. But the thing is, the extra about 180,000 that it gives me with O'Brien, it gives me so much rookie power all over the team, especially in the forward line. So it allows me to run Bonner, Hill, a bit extra for Starkovic and Cockatoo. It just feels... Yeah, I feel more comfortable with this extra money. Maybe I could get that money from somewhere else, but I like it as is at the moment. I'm a big fan of O'Brien, and not only that, if you started Goldstein last year, I think there was a guy, one or two players with Goldstein in the top 10 for quite a while in the first half of the year. That pick worked out pretty well because Gawn missed a game, and not only that, he had the perfect buy to swap to Gawn in round 14. So you swap to Gawn, you trade in Gawn in round 14. And for me personally, the first buy round, it's quite difficult because I'll have a lot of players playing, but I don't have many players playing with that buy. So those teams, I think it's Brisbane, Geelong, and Port Adelaide. So that's Dangerfield, Neil, Houston sort of thing. So ideally, I'm going to need help in that buy round. And O'Brien plays Lysette in that buy round, so hopefully he does okay. But the extra points will be really appreciated, I think. So I fully expect Gawn to outscore O'Brien in the first half of the year by 200, 250 points. And then you probably get 100 points back during the buy round, all going well. I don't think it's that great of a loss. Sure, you lose a captain option, but this year in the midfield and Grundy will have a fair few captain options anyway. So kind of pays itself, maybe. But yeah, I really like what the extra 200k does for my team. Now in the forward line, where do I start? Okay, we'll start with no Whitfield. So where's Lockie Whitfield? And as I was saying before with Doherty, like injury is a huge factor as to whether I pick players. I know Whitfield's had some durability issues in 2019. I don't even care about that. It's the preseason where he's had an ankle problem, he's had ankle surgery, and he's still not in full training, and it's February. Not only that, GWS don't really tell us a whole lot, so hopefully they give us a decent update soon. But yeah, I know definitely in January he wasn't in full training. So the way I look at this is I've pretty much just swapped Whitfield for Oliver. Give me Oliver with a full preseason over a limited preseason from Lockie Whitfield every day of the week. And obviously it depends on which rookies you start on the field. So yeah, I need to monitor Lockie Whitfield. I don't think... I mean, if it wasn't for his ankle surgery, you lock him away, no problems. But that was quite a long time ago. That was probably 3 months ago he had that surgery. So we'll wait and see on Lockie Whitfield. But if he comes good, out Oliver in Whitfield or out Dustin Martin in Whitfield. So see how we go there. Now we have Bailey Smith and Tom Lynch. So Bailey Smith is like a super pod. He's like 1% below, and I think Lynch is about 5%. I've done videos on both these players. Am I expecting both of them to work? I hope so, but the chances aren't high. And in this game, you're supposed to play the odds. And then the skill kind of comes in when you're trading in and out, rather than getting a lot of power from your pod picks, if that makes sense. But I just think Bailey Smith, I want to see what he can do with a full preseason. He is the white mamba. He has an insane work ethic. It's ridiculous. 70. So he averaged, I believe I read somewhere, 54% of his time was in the forward line in 2019. So I expect that to go down a little bit. And he has a full preseason. Maybe he averages 90. I take that for 415k, especially with the standard of this year's forwards. Should probably be aiming a little bit higher, but because I'm paying 400 for him, I use money elsewhere rather than paying for someone else like a Heaney to get more points by powering up the team, if that makes sense. So say that 100k gets me Aiden Bonner, for example. And then there's also Tom Lynch. I think he's going to win the Coleman. I think he's primed for a good year. Rewalt was pumping his tyres this week. And he's probably, he's the best forward in the league, I assume, this year. He's primed for it. Last year they said the first time he joined a main session was in round 1, which is just ridiculous. So that was 2019. So for me, my strategy in the forward line, when you're not exactly sure who to pick someone cheaper, so it's forgiving if it goes wrong. And not only that, is you're not paying much, so you're using your money elsewhere. So that's pretty much it. I probably should only pick one of these guys, and it probably will be Tom Lynch if I have to pick one. But we'll see how it goes. I really want to see what Bailey Smith can do with a preseason. But yeah, and then the forward line, I would say pretty strong rookies, I would say. Bono, Hill, Rankin should be on-field options. Bono we're hearing a lot of good things on. Hill will play off half-back, should average mid-70s maybe 70. And yeah, Rankin, one of the biggest talents in the AFL, see what he can do. Cockatoo, I have no idea what to expect from Cockatoo. I might not even pick him because he's so injury prone, so we'll see how he goes. And then Hosey, I think, is a medium forward from North who's having a good preseason so far. So that's the team. I did ramble on a bit too much, and sometimes I probably didn't make too much sense. But yeah, kind of happy with it. Have a bit of money left over. Mids and forwards mids and defenders, the premiums there aren't going to change much, and the forward line changes on a daily basis kind of thing. But I've actually kept this forward line for a week now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys soon.